Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam to all devotees. Mataji just called me to do Kirtan. So I am starting the Kirtan. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Danvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam to all the devotees.
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। गुरु महाराज की जय हो। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीर वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे, जय राधा गिरिधारी राधे, जय राधा गोविंद राधे, जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय, निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय हो। मंगलाचरण। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्, नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानं जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वप्नदान्तिकं, वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च, श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथावितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाबध्ये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योदय श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुत्ताप सिद्धांत ध्वांत हारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर सांबोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौराविभाव भूमे त्वं निर्देशा सचन प्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त श्री राधा कान्त नमस्तुते चैतां सुरतो पंगोर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वापदाम्भोजो श्री राधा मदन्मोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्य कल्पद्रुमातः श्रीमती रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमती राधा शिल गोविंद देव प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवट ततस्ततः कर्षण वेणुसनेर्गोपी गोपीनाथाश्री नमः तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय। दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। Hare Krishna.
1 minute, 1 minute. I'm just reaching the temple. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just wait for 2-3 minutes.
Okay, Mataji.
So we are all blessed today, having Guru Maharaj. All are in ecstasy. Maharaj is dead. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kahe, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoye. And it was a very wonderful event. On a short notice, approximate more than 150 devotees.
माता जी सारे फोटोज देख के बहुत आनंद आया गुरु महाराज के, सबके डिवोटीज के।
Second canto, which was Aruna?
13 माता जी।
14. In the second canto, where Parikshit Maharaj's inquiry what should be done at the time of picking the body. So here, the importance of devotional service has been emphasized by Sukadeva Goswami, 13th verse. Actually, today we were speaking about this verse in the morning. Katvanga. Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarvasiddhi. Lavamatra. Even if a small association is there, how to utilize our time. I was speaking about Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, he was very sick. He called Kamalushan Prabhuji. Because Kamalushan Prabhuji is, he knows astrology. He asked, he says by name, na? Then he asked, how much duration of time I have? He asked, Maharaj asked. That means he wants to utilize every moment of his life in Krishna consciousness. So there the example of, one has to learn from the example of Katvanga Muni. What did Katvanga ask? Katvanga was a very great king. He used to help the devatas, the demigods, in conquering the demons. So most of the time he used to spend in Svargaloka. So there, once he helped the demigods, they were very happy. And the demigods won. Then they asked, what benediction do you want? Indra asked. He said, I want to know how much time is left. The answer was, just a moment. What is the answer? Just a moment. Immediately, by his divine power, he came to the earthly planet. That itself shows only from the earthly planet you can go back home, back to God, not from any other local. He preferred coming back to the earthly planet. Within a moment he came and he completely absorbed himself in the lotus feet of Krishna. So Khatvang's example, Khatvang Maharaj's example, is the best example to make us understand that the essence of our life is somehow we should be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness, we can never have any hope other than taking shelter of our spiritual master. Because on our own, we don't have that strength. But a spiritual master has the strength to not only absorb everyone in Krishna consciousness, but to strengthen us to make others absorb in Krishna consciousness. So 13th verse, second chapter, second canto, first chapter, 13th verse. Khatvango nama rajarshe gyatve yattam ihayushvaha muhurtat sarva utsrujya. Muhurtat sarvamutsrujya gatavana bhayam harim. Khatvango nama rajarshi gyatve yattam ihayushaha muhurtat sarvamutsrujya gatavana bhayam harim. Beautiful verse. Khatvango nama rajarshi. So this Raja's name, Raja Rishi, is not just Raja, he is a Raja Rishi. That is why it is said, even if a person is holding a very important post in the administration, he should be a Rishi. Our Sanjay Prabhu is also Raja Rishi. We should have that type of attitude, always serve Krishna with the best of the abilities, whatever we have. Krishna has given the position, utilize it. Raja is one, in those times, Rajas, They are having the position, yes, administration. But be a rishi. That means never have any attachment for oneself, but always be attached to serve Krishna the best. So Raja Rishi, Khatvango Nama Raja Rishi, Gyatit Gyatavye Yattam Ihayuhushu. So Gyatvaha Iyattam Iha. So he wanted to know the duration of his life. Ayushaha Muhurtat. Now just see, just a moment you're going to stay. That means till the end, he was serving the demigods. So now Raja Rishi, because serving the demigods is also wonderful because they have to conquer the demons. So now just he has one moment. Sarvam Utsrujya, he left everything. He left all the things. Gatavan, then he left everything, and Gatavan had undergone Abhayam Hari. Immediately he took the shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. This is a success of life. We may do many things, but the moment we know that I have this much time with me. And the question asked by Guru Maharaj to Kamarachan Prabhu, how much time I have? This is what the sadhus, they want to utilize every moment of their lifetime. We know from the age of practically 23, 24, Maharaj has been serving, and this is 79, that means 55 years Maharaj is in this process. And still here, Maharaj says, yes, whatever time is left, let me utilize the Krishna consciousness. Okay. Venkatesh Prabhu, read the verse, and Sanjay Prabhu, read the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Khatvango Nam Raj Rushi Gyatva Iyatam Iha Ayusha Muhurtat Sarvam Utsrujya Katvan Abhayam Harim. I have English, Mataji. Can I read? Purport.
You have English?
Yes, Mataji.
Very good. Read.
Hare Krishna. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A fully responsible man should always be conscious of the prime duty of the present human form of life. The activities to meet the immediate necessities of material life are not everything. One should always be alert in his duty for attainment of the best situation in the next life. Human life is meant for preparing ourselves for that prime duty. Maharaj Khatwang is mentioned herein as a saintly king because even within the responsibility of the state management, he was not at all forgetful of the prime duty of the life. Such was the case with the other Rajarishis, saintly kings, like Maharaj Yudhishthira, Maharaj Parikshit. They were all exemplary personalities on account of their being alert in the discharging their prime duty. Maharaj Khatwanga was invited by the demigod in the higher planet to fight demons, and as a king, he fought the battle to the full satisfaction of the demigods. The demigod, being fully satisfied with him, wanted to give him some benediction for material enjoyment. But Maharaj Khatwanga, being very much alert to his prime duty, inquired from the demigod about his remaining duration of life. This means that he was not anxious to accumulate some material benediction from the demigod as he was to prepare himself for the next life. He was informed by the demigods, however, that his life would last only a moment longer. The king at once left the heavenly kingdom, which is always full of material enjoyment of the highest standard, and coming down to this earth, took ultimate shelter of the all safe personality of Godhead. So he was successful in his great attempt and achieved liberation. This attempt, even for a moment, by the saintly king was successful because he was always alert to his prime duty. Maharaj Parikshit was thus encouraged by the great Shukadeva Goswami, even though he had only 7 days left in his life, to execute the prime duty of the hearing the glories of the Lord in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So by the will of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit instantly met the great Sukadeva Goswami, and the great treasure of the spiritual success left by him is nicely mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj Parikshit instantly met even Maharaj Parikshit. He only knows now 7 days is there. By will of Lord, Maharaj Parikshit met Sukadeva Goswami. This is a great treasure of spiritual success. तवाप्येतर्हि गौरव्य सप्ताहं जीवितावधिः उपकल्पय तत्सर्वं तावद्यत्साम्परायिकम् तवाप्येतर्हि गौरव्य सप्ताहं जीवितावधिः उपकल्पय तत्सर्वं तावद्यत्साम्परायिकम्. Therefore, now example is given. Sukadeva Goswami is saying, avadhi jivitaha saptaham. Avadhi jivitaha saptaham. Your duration of life is now just 7 days. O Kauravya, you are born in such a wonderful family of Purus. Now your duration of life is just 7 days. Therefore, etarhi, upakalpayaha. So now, sarvam tavad yat sam parayikam. So get the rituals done for the best purpose of your next life, which are needed for the best purpose. Get them performed, upakalpaya. So whatever rituals are necessary so that you can have a wonderful next life. So next life can be spiritual life, material life, but for a devotee, it is always spiritual life, whether in this planet or whether in any planets. Devotee is not bothered in which planet he is born. Devotee is only bothered about how much devotional service is he going to get in every lifetime. Mama Janmani Janmanishwari. So here, Bhavtat Bhakti Rahaitukit Vai. Here Sukadeva Goswami is saying, Upakalpaya, perform that rituals. Some parayikam. What is the meaning of some? Sampurna Rupena parayikam. Perform. It is not just a materialistic ritual because some word has been given, like samadhi, samyak adhiyate asmin atmatattvaithatmayam, samparayikam. Samparayikam means the word rituals should not be very allergic to the devotees. When you say rituals means whatever necessary so that one gets a wonderful next life. So Maharaj Parikshit, now your duration of life is limited to 7 more days. So during this time, you can perform all those rituals that are needed for the best purpose of your next life. Okay. Aruna, read.
Hare Krishna. Tavake tarhi kauravya saptaham jivitavadihi upakalpaya tat sarvam tavadyat samparayikam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sukadeva Goswami, after citing the example of Maharaja Katwanga, who prepared himself for the next life within a very short time, encouraged Maharaja Parikshit by saying that since he still had 7 days at his disposal, he should easily take advantage of the time to prepare himself for the next life. Indirectly, the Goswami told Maharaja Parikshit that he should take shelter of the sound representation of the Lord for the 7 days still remaining in the duration of his life and thus get himself liberated. In other words, everyone can best prepare himself for the next life simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam as it was recited by Sukadeva Goswami to Maharaja Parikshit. The rituals are not formal, but there are also some favorable conditions which are required to be carried out as instructed hereafter. Hare Krishna.
So Samparaikam also means sadhana. What type of sadhana one should do when one knows this is the only time I have got. Antakale purush ate sadvasah chindayad asanga shastrena spruham dehe nu ye chatam. Mute your phone. Mute your phone, Aruna. Antakale tu purusha agate gata sadvasah chindayad asanga shastrena dehe spruham dehe nu ye chatam. Antakale. Now, your last stage of life is there. When for a person at the last stage, what he has to do? At the last stage of one's life, agate gata sadhavasaha. One should not fear the death first. Now, Antakala has come. The last moment is there. When Guru Maharaj was walking, my father and
Mataji, you are on mute.
very aged, 89, 86, 85, 86. So, and anyhow, everyone has a fear of leaving the body, isn't it? So when Maharaj came, he just patted my father. My father was in ecstasy. He cannot see much, can only see very small distance. But for whatever devotional service they have done in this life, they have got today the bhagya of having Guru Maharaj coming in their room. And he patted. My father was in ecstasy, mother one is in ecstasy. This last stage, when both of them are together, there's always a fear of losing one of the partners. So that I can see in them that fear is there, though they are not expressing, but that fear is there. Everybody has the fear of losing one's body. And especially when two people are there, they have the fear of losing one of the.
Mataji, you are on mute. Mataji, you are on mute.
Now so at the end of living the body, one have time has come. Time has come. The last stage has come. Gata sadhavasaha. Sadhavasaha means don't have the fear of death. And how a person will be free from the fear of death? One has to cut off asanga shastrena by the weapon of detachment. Asanga shastrena. Open 4th chapter, last verse, Bhagavad Gita. You say, where is Bhagavad Gita near me? You should always have also. Open 4th chapter, last verse. Let me also see. Asanga shastrena. This word has come there. Just see this. Asanga shastrena. Just see where is that word shastrena. Give me Bhagavad Gita book.
Not last word.
Is there in 15 chapter?
Mute your phones. Just see the 3rd chapter. Shastrena, Asanga shastrena. This word is there. Asanga shastrena. Type Asanga shastrena and get where is this verse. Asanga shastrena.
15 chapter.
15 chapter, Mataji.
Huh?
15th
15th chapter, mother.
Mataji.
15th chapter.
15th chapter.
Ah,
Which verse? 15th chapter, which verse? Asanga Shastrina. Open. Bhakti Vaibhav students, we should know all where it is, what it is. By the weapon of detachment.
Mataji, third shloka.
Third shloka.
न रूपस्मह्यस्य तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चार्दी न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वस्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा.
Yes. Asanga Shastrena Drudhena Chitva na Rupam Masyeha Topalabhyate Nanto na Chadirna Sacham Pratishtha. Ashwathamenam Suvirudha Moolam Asanga Shastrena Drudhena Chitva. So in this way, Asanga Shastrena, by the weapon of detachment, one can come out of this entanglement. Asanga Shastrena. Okay. Asanga Shastrena. So here also, Sukadeva Goswami says, with Chindyad Asanga Shastrena, Spruham Dehenu Yechatam, Spruham, all the desires, whatever is there in the matter of material tabernacle, that is entanglement, Atu, Anu, Anu Yechatam, Anu, whatever we have, this all the desires, automatically that will be cut. One must cut off all attachment to the material body and everything pertaining to it and all the desires thereof. It's not so easy to come out of this desire. That is why one should not develop multiple desires. It is better we just serve the Shastras, serve our Guru. If we have desires, it is not so easy to come out of the desires. That is why this is the best training program. One has to be in the training program right from the beginning. Any desires, even a small desire can multiply. So better is come out of all these desires. So at the last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of death, but one must cut off all attachment to the material body and everything pertaining to it and all the desires thereof. If you see even the third chapter, last verse of Bhagavad Gita also, there also Krishna says, come out of all the desires. Everywhere, with your intelligence, come out of this, kill this lust. This is the greatest enemy. Evam buddhe param bhuttva sanstabhyatmanam atmanaha jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. This is the greatest enemy. Lust, desire is the greatest enemy. And Krishna says, come out of it. How to come out? Divert it. Or whatever is the perverted form, now put it in the original form. The original form is that the desire should be to serve Krishna. Like today we were distributing Maharaj Mahaprasad. At the time everybody, all initiated devotees. Maharaj is very strict in saying that just distribute this only to the initiated devotees. So there's a one talk. Oh, this greed is so wonderful. One should have greed. Yes, the greed to get Maharaj's mercy. That is one. That should be there. So here also I think there is a verse. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam ratastam jnana sinatmanah chitvainam samshayam yogam attishto tishtaha bharata. Chitvainam, cut it off. 4.42 speaks, cut it off. How? Tasmad ajnana sambhutam, whatever ajnana is there, which is coming in the, which is aroused in one's consciousness. Jnana sinatmanah. Take the shastra of jnana. Take the weapon of knowledge, chitva, cut it off. Samshayam yogam attishtoho uttishta. Then only a person can perform the duties properly. Okay. Ravindra Sachiputra Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Antapale tu Purusha Agate Agate Kala Sadhavasya
Gata Gata Sadhavasaha Sadhavasaha
Sadhavasya Chindyad Asanga Shastrena Viram Dehe Nuya Chotam. The last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of them. But one must cut off all attachment to the material body and everything pertaining to it, and all the desires thereof. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The foolishness of gross materialism is that people think of making a permanent settlement in this world. Although it is a settled fact that one has to give up everything. One has to give up everything here that has been created by valuable human energy. Great statesmen, scientists, philosophers, etc., who are foolish without any information of the spirit soul, think that this life of a few years is all in all, and that there is nothing more after death. This poor fund of knowledge, even the so-called learned circles of the world, is killing the vitality of the human energy, and the awful result is being keenly felt. And yet, the foolish materialistic men do not care about what is going to happen in the next life. The preliminary instruction in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should know that the identity of the individual living entity is not lost, even after the end of this present body, which is nothing but an outward dress only. As one changes an old garment, so the individual living being also changes his body, and this change of body is called death. Death is therefore a process of changing the body at the end of the duration of the present life. An intelligent person must be prepared for this and must try to have the best type of body in the next life. The best type of body is a spiritual body, which is obtained by those who go back to the kingdom of God or those who enter the realm of Brahman. The second chapter of this canto, this matter will be broadly discussed, but as far as the change of body is concerned, one must prepare now for the next life. Foolish people attach more importance to the present temporary life, and thus the foolish leaders make appeals to the body and the bodily relation. The bodily relation extend not only to this body, but also to the family members, wife, children, society, country, and so many other things, which end at the end of life. After death, one forgets everything about the present bodily relations. We have a little experience of this at night when we go to sleep. While sleeping, we forget everything about this body and bodily relations. Although this forgetfulness is a temporary situation, only for a few hours. Death is nothing but sleeping for a few months. Death is nothing but sleeping for a few months in order to develop another term of bodily engagement.
It's such a nice explanation. What is death? Sleeping for some time.
Death is nothing but sleeping for a few months in order to develop another term of bodily engagement, which we are awarded by the law of nature according to our aspiration. Therefore, one has only to change the aspiration during the course of this present body, and for this there is need of training in the current duration of human life. This training can be begun at any stage of life, or even a few seconds before death. The usual procedure is one to get the training from very early life. From the stage of brahmacharya and gradually progress to the grasta, vanaprastha, and sannyas orders of life. The institution which gives such training is called Varnashram Dharma, or the system of Sanatana Dharma. The best procedure for making the human life perfect. One is therefore required to give up the attachment to family or social or political life just at the age of 50 years, if not earlier. And the training in the Vanaprastha and Sannyas ashram is given for preparation of the next life. Foolish materialists in the garb of leaders of the people in general stick to family affairs without attempting to cut off relations with them. And thus they become victims of nature's law and get cross bodies again, according to the word. Such foolish leaders may have some respect for the people at the end of life, but that does not mean that such leaders will be immune to the natural laws under which everyone is tightly bound by the hands and feet. The best thing, therefore, is that everyone voluntarily should give up family relations by transferring the attachment from family, society, country, and everything thereof to the devotional service of the Lord. It is stated herein that one should give up all desires of family attachment. One must have a chance for better desire. Otherwise, there is no chance of giving up such morbid desire. Desire is the concomitant factor of the living entity. The living entity is eternal, and therefore its desires which are natural for a living being are also eternal. One cannot therefore stop desiring, but the subject matter for desires can be changed. So one must develop the desire for returning home back to Godhead, and automatically the desire for material gain, material honor, and material popularity will diminish in proportion to the development of devotional service. Will diminish in proportion to the development of devotional service. A living being is meant for service activity, and his desires are centered around such a service attitude. Beginning from the top executive head of the state down to the insignificant pauper in the street, all are rendering some sort of service to others. The perfection of such a service attitude is only attained simply by transferring the desire of service from matter to spirit or from Saturn to God. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yes. So perfection of such a service attitude is only attained simply by transferring the desire of service from matter to spirit or from Saturn to God. Now, last verse. Gruhat pravrajito dhiraha punyakirtha jalapyutaha jalaplutaha shujao vivikta asino vidhivat kalpitasane gruhat pravrajito धीरः पुण्यतीर्थ जलाप्लुतः शुचौ विविक्त आसीनो विधिवत् कल्पितासने गृहात् प्रव्रजितो धीरः. Now a dhira purusha, self-controlled person, what he should do? He should leave home. He should give up his house. Once 50 years, then vanaprastha. He should try to engage in vanaprastha. So where is vana now? To leave home and go to vana. So better is come to temple. Engage yourself in the temple activities. Once a person is retired, now that 50 years has become 58, no problem. This 60 years. Engage more in temple activities. Out of some emergency, a person has to go to work, no problem. For sometimes a person doesn't have anything in the old age. If he has to go also, but still don't have attachment to all these things, try to give up and get attached to the temple services. And that is how he should practice self-control. And that is a sacred place, Tirtha, Jala Apluta. So he should bathe regularly. Shuchau, he should be very clean. Vivikta Asinaha, he should be seated in a solitary place. The solitary place here refers to the place where mundane talks are there. Don't try to engage yourself in any mundane talks. Just be engaged in chanting the holy name. So that is Vivikta Asinaha. That is really the solitary place. Vidhivat Kalpitaha Asana. So in this way, performing all the activities, spiritual activities, according to the rules and regulations which has been given, one has to be seated. Here seated means remove all your senses or disengage all your senses from materialistic activities. Engage all your senses in the service of Krishna, for which one has to be seated in a holistic place. Because you don't find a vana in the Satyuga, Treta Yuga, at least vanas were there. Now where a person will go and perform devotional service alone, it is not recommended. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrika Vidhi Vinaikantika Harer Bhaktir Utpate Vahi Kevala. One cannot perform devotional service alone. He has to be along with the devotees. And the best place is temple. Come, associate. Temple is a place today Maharaj was telling. Actually, I had tears when Guru Maharaj said, "Thank you very much, Narayani. You have pleased Prabhupada by adding one more temple." I had tears. No, Maharaj, this is not the great. Because what else speak there? Anytime he glorifies, I have tears. So just took the flowers. It's only your mercy. So temple means the place where all devotees can come together. That is home. Temple is our home, where devotees can come together and chant the holy name. And that is Vivikta Deshaha. That is a solitary place where gossips should not be there. That is why temples should be very holistic. We should avoid gossiping in the temple. We should avoid all any diplomacy in the temple. Our diplomacy to bring a devotee near to the Lord, near to the Guru, that diplomacy can be used. Any other diplomacy should be avoided. then only the temple will become holistic, or it will be another commercial office. So it's not just I keep the Lord. No, Lord is there. First we should understand, it's Lord's house. It's not our office. It is Lord's home. And the Lord's home should be completely pure and holistic. Okay. Gandhi Prabhu read.
हरे कृष्ण माते धन्यवाद प्रणाम ग्रहात् प्रवृजितो धीरा पुण्यतीर्थ जलाप्लुतः शुचौ विवक्त आसीनो विधिवत कल्पितासने. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One should leave home and practice self-control. In a sacred place, he should bath regularly and sit down in a lonely place duly sanctified. To prepare oneself for the better next life, one must get out of one's so-called home. The system of Varnashram Dharma or Sanatan Dharma prescribes retirement from family's encumbrances as early as possible after one has passed 50 years of age. Modern civilization is based on family comforts, the highest standard of amenities, and therefore after retirement, everyone expects to live in a very comfortable life in a well-furnished home decorated with fine ladies and children, without any desire to get out of such a comfortable home. High government officers and ministers stick to their prizes post until death, and they neither dream nor desire to get out of homely comforts. Bound by such hallucinations, materialistic men prepare various plans for a still more comfortable life, but suddenly cruel death comes without mercy and take away the great plan maker against his desire, forcing him to give up the present body for another body. Such a plan maker is thus forced to accept another body in one of 84 lakh species of life according to the fruits of the work he has performed. In the next life, persons who are too much attached to family comforts are generally awarded lower species of life on account of sinful acts performed during a long duration of sinful life. And thus all the energy of the human life is spoiled. In order to be saved from the danger of spoiling the human form of life and being attached to unreal things, one must take warning of death at the age of 50, if not earlier. The principle is that one should take it for granted that the death warning is already there, even prior to the attainment of 50 years of age. And thus at any age of life, one should prepare himself for a better next life. The system of Sanatan Dharma institution is so made that the follower is trained for the better next life without any chance that the human life will be spoiled. The holy places all over the world are meant for the residential purpose of retired persons getting ready for a better life. Intelligent persons must go there at the end of life. And for that matter, after 50 years of age, to live a life of spiritual regeneration for the sake of being freed from family attachment, which is considered to be a shackle of the material life. One is recommended to quit home just to get rid of material attachment, because one who sticks to family life until death cannot get rid of material attachment. And as long as one is materially attached, one cannot understand spiritual freedom. One should not, however, or unlawfully, many persons leave home and go to such holy places, but due to bad association, again become family men by illicit connection with the opposite sex. The illusory energy of matter is so strong that one is apt to be under such illusion at every stage of life, even after quitting one's happy home. Therefore, it is essential that one practice self-control by celibacy without the least desire for sex indulgence. For a man desiring to improve the condition of his existence, sex indulgence is considered suicidal, or even worse. Therefore, to live apart from family life means to become self-controlled in regard to all sense desires, especially sex desires. The method is that one should have a fully sanctified sitting place made of straw, deer skin, and carpet, and thus sitting on it, one should chant the holy name of the Lord without offense, as prescribed above. The whole process is to drag the mind from material engagement and fix it on the lotus feet of the Lord. This simple process alone will help one advance to the highest stage of spiritual success. Thank you, Mataji.
We will do this verse also because both are connected verse. First stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage. First stage, dhiraha. Mark this word, dhiraha. Dhira means yama. Yama means yam, niyam. Yam means what rules follow brahmacharyata. Brahma brahmacharyata. Dhiraha. That is the first word. Then next is taking bath in the holy water. Jala putaha. Tirtha jala putaha. Jala Jalapita, Jalapyutaha. So take bath in the holy water. So Brahmacharyataha, taking bath. Second stage is taking bath. Third stage, Asinaha, sit. Sit in a solitary place. That is a third stage. And the fourth stage now is chanting Om. Om. Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra has Om. Om is a sound representation of Krishna. And Hare Krishna Mahamantra directly indicates Krishna. Abhyasena manasa shuddham trivrud brahmaksharam param mano yachet jita shwaso brahma bijam avismaran abhyasen manasa shuddham trivrud brahmaksharam param mano yachet jita shwaso brahma bijam avismaran. Abhyase. One should practice manasaha by the mind. Shuddham, it's sacred. The 3 syllables. Brahmaksharam. It's actually 1 syllable, but again, he translates as Brahma letters. That is Om. Param Manaha Yachet. In this way, one remembers the Supreme and the mind is completely in control. Jitaha Shwasaha. In this way, one has to regulate the breathing process. That is pranayam, the 4th stage, pranayam. Brahma, absolute person. Bijam, seed. Avismaran, never forget to chant the holy name of Krishna. And that is the real breathing process, pranayam. Pranayam means controlling the breath. What is the meaning of controlling the breath? In pranayam, what air goes down, you're trying to bring it up. What air goes up, trying to bring it down. You are changing the direction of the air. These 5 types of air makes us engage in variety of activities. When you're doing pranayam, you're actually controlling the breathing process by which you are trying to focus your mind in the Supreme Lord. When you're focusing the mind in the Supreme Lord, your engagement in the materialistic activities, they are curtailed. They're practically curtailed, and slowly you're trying to bring your consciousness from different stages of, because you have chakras in your body. Actually, in the pranayam, what happens? The chakras are there. The chakras, you're meditating on the chakras, and slowly you come to the top. In the yoga process, this is the thing. What is the purpose of pranayam? It is not just having a healthy body. No, but having the healthy body so that one can be in the stage of samadhi. Samyak adhiyate asmin atmatattva tatme. Understanding our relationship with Krishna. And slowly, completely, like samyak adhiyate, completely meditating on our relationship with Krishna, that I am servant of Krishna. So when a devotee takes the anxiety of serving the spiritual master, at that time also, the pranavayus are coming up. It actually goes up. You will have a special type of anxiety. You are taking that pranavayus to your head. That is why you feel that lot of energy. You have so much of energy. You bring it till the head. And then you can easily connect to Krishna. You can experience it, right? All the devotees are completely anxiety. In 2 hours, you had to do so much of arrangement, calling people, everything. It was like a, so this is for a devotee, what is the best pranayam? Always think about serving Krishna and chanting the holy name very nicely. When we are chanting, we should be completely absorbed in chanting. And that absorption in chanting automatically will bring the pranavayus from every chakra to the top. And you can experience that. That is why while chanting, Prabhupada says, concentrate in chanting. Concentrate in every word. When you are concentrating every word to such an extent, Art of Chanting process, the book is there, where very clear mention is there. Focus on the holy name. When you are chanting, focus on the perfection of chanting is you can see Hare Krishna Mahamantra everywhere. If you are able to chant this, then perfection is even when you are opening the eyes, you are able to see Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If you are able to do that, practice. That is why we all have to practice. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Even while opening, you should see that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. If you are able to see that, then the mind will not go anywhere. So this is a yoga. This is Harinam Sankirtan is the best yoga. How to connect to Krishna. Wherever you are, you will be completely absorbed. See, it's absorption. It's complete absorption. Like the turtle is in the water. It's absorbed in the eggs which it has laid on the ground. By absorbing the turtle is absorbing its consciousness on the egg, and the egg hatches. In the same way, absorption is the most important. Wherever you are, just absorb yourself in the service of Krishna. Bindu Mataji, read. Bindu? Okay, Mohit Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I won't be able to grab the market.
Okay. Then Kankanga Prabhu, can you read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Abhyaset manasa shuddham trivritta brahmaksharam param manah yache jita swasha brahma bija avismaran. अनुवाद और तात्पर्य श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के द्वारा श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. I have in Hindi, Mataji. Is that okay, na Mataji?
No. Aruna Mataji, you read.
Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Omkara or the Pranava is the seed of transcendental realization, and it is composed of the 3 transcendental letters A-U-M. By chanting by the mind in conjunction with the breathing process, which is a transcendental but mechanical way of getting into trance, as devised by the experience of great mystics, one is able to bring the mind, which is materially absorbed, under control. This is the way of chanting the habit of the mind. The mind is not to be killed. Mind or desire cannot be stopped, but to develop a desire to function for spiritual realization, the quality of engagement by the mind has to be changed. The mind is the pivot of all the active sense organs, and as such, if the quality of thinking, feeling, and willing is changed, naturally the quality of actions by the instrumental senses will also change. Omkara is the seed of all transcendental sounds, and it is only the transcendental sound which can bring about the desired change of the mind and the senses. Even a mentally deranged man can be cured by treatment of transcendental sound. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Pranava, Omkara, has been accepted as the direct, literal representation of the supreme absolute truth. One who is not able to chant directly the holy name of the Lord, as recommended above, can easily chant the Pranava Omkara. This Omkara is a note of address such as, O my Lord, just as Om Hari Om means, just as Om Hari Om means, O my Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As we have explained before, the Lord's holy name is identical with the Lord himself. so also is Omkara. But persons who are unable to realize the transcendental personal form or name of the Lord on account of their imperfect senses, in other words, the neophytes, are trained to the practice of self-realization by this mechanical process of regulating the breathing function and simultaneously repeating the pranava, Omkara, within the mind. As we have several times expressed, since the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, etc. of the personality of Godhead are impossible to understand with the present material senses, it is necessary that through the mind, the center of sensual activities, such transcendental realization be set into motion. The devotees directly fix their mind on the person of the absolute truth. But one who is unable to accommodate such personal features of the absolute is disciplined in impersonality to train the mind to make further progress. Hare Krishna.
One who is unable to accommodate such personal features of the absolute is disciplined in impersonality to train the mind to make further progress. So one is not able to focus on it's not so easy to get the holy name. It's not so easy to focus the mind and the personal form of Lord. Then okay, at least in the impersonal way. Then now Om, when he's chanting, he's not able to focus on the personal form of Lord. At least train. Dhiraha, brahmacharyataha, take bath, next stage, third stage. So in this way, sit in a proper place, that place in a secluded place, don't have any materialistic talk. At least start chanting Om. So when he starts doing that slowly, when he comes in contact with the devotees, he will start appreciating the form of Lord and appreciating the name of Lord. Okay, so stop here. Any questions? You can ask. Any questions? No questions. Can we stop here? Mantra Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Krishna
Vaishnavabhyo
Krishna
Namo
Jai.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.